he helped write the song "Kind of,"
Okay. Yeah.
which is on that album.
Mhm.
I remember he kind of like, I think he and Nick like sat down for like 15 minutes and like hammered out the lyrics really quick. And then I remember he got mad because he wanted the bass line to have like more of like a cool reggae groove, but like that wasn't how Blink 80 played. It was a lot faster and more aggressive.
Uh-huh.
So I remember him being really unhappy with how the bass line turned out for that.
Yeah.
And then on the way home, I had to stop and get gas.
Uh-huh.
And Mike goes, "Oh, do you need money for gas?" And I was really broke at the time. I'm like, "Yeah, that'd be great." Mike gave me $1.
Oh man.
And I was like, "Thanks, Mike."
Damn, that's funny as hell. Because yeah, I remember I remember one time somebody asked me for a ride. You know, it's kind of a tangent, but yeah, I was giving somebody a ride around town, and then at the end of it, they're like, "Hey man, does $2 work?" And I'm just like, "Come on now, yo."
Yeah, I mean, we used to do crazy stuff. Like, I had some friends. You know that movie La Bamba?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So Joaquin Valdez, he's the producer's son.
Okay.
So he was like my friend. He lived in San Juan Bautista.
Okay.
And they lived up on a hill. And then his best friend was this other dude, Joaquin. So it was Joaquin and Joaquin. Mm-hmm. We went up to Joaquin's house one day in Joaquin's car. He had this old bondoed up beater of a car.
Okay.
And he parked it on a hill.
Mm-hmm.
And we get back into the car after picking up Joaquin, car won't start. And so we're like, oh man. And we realize, oh, okay, like the little tiny bit of gas that's in the bottom of this gas tank is not enough. It's not getting to the fuel pump.
Yeah.
So we got to push this lead sled up this hill on the far side of town. And then we just kick it into neutral and we all jump in the car and we just cruise it through town with the engine off. And then it starts to slow down and we have to cross the freeway to get to Joaquin's house. And we all start popping open the doors and jumping out of the car and pushing it.
Yeah.
And this semi just coming down on us.
Oh, damn.
We need to start booking it, trying to get this thing across. We got it across.
Damn.
I think about that all the time. I'm just like, man, what if that had been it right there?
Yeah. Damn, man.
But yeah, it was just like talking about being broke. I mean, we would put literally like 25 cents in our gas tanks and be like, okay, I guess that's it for the week.
Yeah.
You know, nobody ever impressed upon me the importance of having a job as a kid. And so like, you know, when I decided to be in a band, I was like, I'll just be in a band, not realizing that you don't make any money.
Yeah.
But then you just become kind of okay with like cutting corners and like kind of living like a rat and doing weird stuff to like make ends meet. It took me a long time to figure out that, you know, as much as it sucks that we live in a capitalist society, you gotta work, gotta make money.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how like joining Blink 80, you know, filling in, you told me the old guitarist's name was Matt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, how was that, you know, like coming in, like, cause at the time Blink 80 already had the first album out and then the EP Killing Katie. You said you joined when they're in the process of it. Like, how was, you know what I'm saying, just like the experience as far as like going on tour? Cause you told me that they were trying to go on tour a lot more often. I assume you joined to make that happen, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was all in. That was all I wanted to do. To the point where like, so when I joined the band, Nick was still in the band. They were going to do one more tour with Matt before he went back to school full time. And I was like, all right, cool. That's no problem. And I joined with Seth, who was one of the horn players from Flat Planet. So we joined together, but they're like, they needed a horn player at the time. They didn't quite need a guitar player, an extra guitar player yet. So I was going to sit it out, but I'd been like riding out to shows with them and stuff. I was, you know, at practices.
Yeah.
And then so they went and did this tour. I get a call from Seth in the middle of the tour on my parents' home phone.
Yeah.
He's like, tour's over. Nick flew home. We're driving home right now. So they'd had a big falling out in Milwaukee because of Nick's drug problems. Everybody had to sign contracts with Danielle Steele, saying they wouldn't do drugs around Nick.
Okay.
And so it was a friend's 21st birthday, and all the rest of the dudes wanted to party because it was, a friend's 21st birthday. Everyone wanted to, get a little loose.
Yeah.
And Nick felt left out, and so he was like, I want to go party too. And so then he ended up getting busted for it. And then there were words exchanged, and I wasn't there for it, so I'm not totally sure. But he got dropped off at the airport. He flew home because he'd broken the contract.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the band had to come back home.
Okay.
So then, I mean, this is all happening when I'm like 19 years old. So it all feels like it took place over the course of years. It was really only 2 months, like maybe not even that Nick, the band, like he left the band, he came home, started Knowledge, recorded that, the album, which is a demo really.
Yeah.
Played a couple shows and then overdosed and died. Which was, a super heavy thing for a teenager to deal with.
Yeah.
But, at that point, I'd already made up my mind that I wanted to be in a full-time touring band. And so we all kept pushing, because at that point we were all saying, well, what do we want to do? The rest of the guys were like, well, Nick had already quit. We're already auditioning new singers. We got this guy that was our roadie to be the singer. We went back out, we hit the road, did a really catastrophic first tour. We blew up 2 vans.
Oh shit.
went into like super debt. It was 98. Dudes were smoking cigarettes inside the van. Everybody was getting sick because we were just dumb little kids, didn't know how to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
So by the time we get to Florida, we're all like really sick, throwing up, having a hard time breathing on stage. And somehow we pulled through and we kept going. And, about a year in, we kicked out that new singer. He was terrible. He just never gotten better.
Okay.
And probably to our detriment, because, here's the thing also is Nick really didn't get to tour on 17 Reasons.
All right.
It was kind of out. Maybe he did like 1 tour, 2 tours on that album. But there's a video online of his last show in Milwaukee, and you can see that the audience doesn't really know the band. Like they're there to see the other bands.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a drag because Nick ruled. He was such a good front person.
Yeah.
But like people are just like watching it, just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you watch our next, like there's videos from our next 2 tours with the singer who's not that hot.
Yeah.
But everybody's really into the album at that point.
Right.
And so we're getting like a really crazy good reaction for these songs that this singer had nothing to do with. So anyhow, we kick this dude out. We get Ryan Noble, who's in the Blast Bandits with Barry.
Okay.
He can sing his ass off. He's a super nice dude. So we start pushing. And I feel like one of the first tours we do with Ryan is opening for Homegrown. They were like a SoCal pop punk band. They were on Drive Thru.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're doing really good. We're like, we're the, main support or opening band, depending on the night.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's finally like firing on all cylinders again. And that's when we start writing all the stuff that becomes The Struggle Continues. And so that was kind of the lineup that did the majority of the touring that I did, was with Ryan as our singer.
Okay. So like, why did, just to recap, because this I actually don't really know, why did like Blink 80 stop after the Struggle Continues? Was it kind of more like most situations, like people just kind of wanted to go like different ways? Was like the touring just kind of like, not really, giving you guys enough to kind of make it sustainable, or like what was there something else? And if it's personal, you don't have to say it, of course.
No, I'll it's all, it's all been done, and it's all totally fine to talk about.
Okay.
Basically, we were touring 8 months out of the year. We were touring all the time. It was all we did. We should have probably paused and recorded another album. We had enough material written to record another album, but we were just burning ourselves out on the road. With that first tour, we'd put ourselves into like $20,000 in debt by like burning through vans. Yeah. So we had a 79 van, that one threw a rod. We got a new van that was an 84. That van lasted 7 days. We like fried the engine in early one morning, climbing a hill, pulling a trailer. So then we got the van that we had for the rest of the band. It was a 97 Ford with a V10. This is a great van.
Yeah.
And that was the one that we had to pay off. That one was pretty new. Mm-hmm. And we had just racked up a ton of debt because, Mike Park had lent us a bunch of money for it. Mm-hmm. We had to take out a loan for the van. So we were in this cycle of going on tour to earn money to pay for the van so that we could go on tour.
Yeah.
Endless cycle.
It just wasn't, it was more of like a situation of kind of like the returns weren't very like sustainable. They were more just kind of like diminishing.
Right. So all of us are still living with our parents and we're doing these tours and we're feeling crazy. And meanwhile, I'd started dating Liz from Lucky Strike. Okay. And I get a call in the middle of a European tour from her about her bass player leaving, and I had this long talk with their guitar player saying, "Oh, I should quit Link 80 and I should join their band."
Okay.
And at the time, I'm like, this totally makes sense to me. Like, I'm like, this band can just keep going. They can get a different guitar player. We've had people in and out of this band, and I'll join this other band with this girl that I'm thinking I'm going to marry.
Yeah.
And so I make that transition. I quit the band. I move over to bass, which I'm not a bass player, but
yeah, but I mean, yeah.
And so then her band ended up breaking up. She broke up with me. So then I'm stuck in Sacramento working at Jamba Juice for $7.25 an hour, just hating my life. And so I sent this email to the Link 80 guys, just like, "Hey, I fucked up. I should never have quit." And like, I knew they hadn't played any shows yet. I knew that they were just practicing, but I hadn't really talked to them. It was only 9 months, this whole period.
Yeah.
I was like, if you guys want me back, I will come crawling back on hand and knee. Like, I feel stupid that I left. I miss you guys. And then Aaron, the trumpet player, he writes me back. He's like, "Yeah, we already have a new guy, so best of luck. Bye." And I was like, all right. So I'm just hanging out in Sacramento, just kind of hating my life. And then I get a call from him maybe a couple days later, maybe a week later.
Okay.
He's like, "Hey, this guy's not working out. We have a tour coming. You already have a passport. You already know these songs.
Yeah.
Why? We're not going to say you're back in the band, but come do this tour."
Yeah.
I'm like, gladly. I like break my lease with my apartment, sell all my stuff, sell my bass rig that I bought, buy a new guitar rig, and I hit the UK with Link 80, and it's awesome. It's a great tour. I come home. They have a little band meeting. They're like, "Okay, you're back in the band, but Steve Borth is going to leave and join RX Bandits. Okay. So now what do we want to do? Do we want to continue this band and get a new horn player where at this point it will be the 20th person who's been in this band? Yeah. Or do we want to shift gears and start a new band with the same members?" At the time, the climate in music, ska was a really bad word.
Okay.
People weren't enjoying the whole ska thing. It was like seen as like real dorky. And even within Link 80, we were sounding more like kind of Rocket from the Crypt. It was more like heavy riffs with horn parts. And I definitely know that the horn players, as good as they were burnt on playing horns. Aaron was getting really into playing guitar.
Okay.
So he slid over to second guitar, and we started calling ourselves Dessa. And we spent about a year writing new material, and then just started playing shows. And that was the point where since we stopped touring, we were all able to move out of our parents' houses. We got apartments, we got jobs, we grew up a little bit. And we did one UK tour with Dessa, UK Europe tour. RX Bandits did part of that with us. We put out a split with a band called Howard's Alias over in the UK. And we did one more US tour in 2006 with RX Bandits. The thing is, we kind of in our minds we were thinking, oh, people